Hello friends, this is Praveen. Welcome to online course on Python basics. Today we will see about map function. So we know that when we have to execute some sort of Python codes on all the items of an iterator, be it a list, tuple or set, we use for loop. But by using map function, one can process and transform all the items in an iterable without using an explicit for loop. So, what is a map function? Map function, uh, it, by using map function, it returns an iterator, which is a map object with the specified function applied to each item of the iterator. So, what happens here? Each and every item of the iterator gets passed to the function, and it it returns it gets returned from the function after executing that function, and it gets returned and saved in an iterator, and that iterator is itself a map object. So syntax is map function and then a star iterable. That means you can pass n number of iterators. There is no restriction. You can pass 0 or more. So a function to be run for each item in the iterable, and then iterable, a sequence, a collection of iterative object. So one can send as many iterators as one wants. The only restriction is this function should have that many arguments to be passed. So if you pass two iterators, then functions would have two arguments like that. So here we have an example num. So there are some numbers 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever it is. And then there is a function, lambda function. We have used, you can use a normal function as well. So lambda function, and it accepts only one argument b, and then it is returning b square, so square of the element. When we apply this function on this iterator num list using map function, it will return a map object or iterator which will contain all the contain square of all these numbers. So let us take it on our IDE. So this is our spider IDE. We have a list of nums. This num is equal to, so we can pass any numbers, 2, 4, 6, 9, 12, 15, whatever. So this is, now we'll make a lambda function. So if you don't know about the lambda function, I strongly recommend to watch my previous video on lambda function. So A is equal to lambda, and then we will pass some argument. So since we are working with only one iterator, so I will pass only one argument b, and then it will return, so the square of this b. That's fine. Now if I use our map function, so what will happen? C is equal to map, and then we have a function and iterator. So we can pass number of iterators and number of iterators. So right now I'm passing only one. So a comma list underscore num. So if I execute this 3 lines of code, fine, everything looks good. And if I print C, what it returns, it is returning map object, and this is the ID of the map object. So if I check the type, type function. So it will also return this map, that C belongs from map class. So this is what we have. Now how we can, what this C contains, we can loop through this iterator. Suppose we want to loop. So what we can do, for I in C and print I. So it will print every element present in the map object C. You can see here 2, 4, square of 2, 4, 16, 6, 36, then 9, 81, 12, 144, 14, 196. So every number has been squared and it is there in this C. So we can convert how we, if we want to print this whole list, so we can convert this map object into a tuple or list by using list or tuple function. If I use this list here and then print C, then it will return the another list having a square of all these numbers. You can see this one 2, 4, 4, 16, 6, 36. So this is we can work with. Next we have map function with two arguments. So suppose we have, I'm just copying this again, control C, and then I'll just paste it here, and list num1 and another is list num2. So I'll just copy and paste it, list num2. Okay, yes, list num2. So when you have two iterators, so I'm just changing some numbers here. 2, sorry, 4, 7, 8, 12, 13, 14. So that is fine. So if we have two iterators, so the function, our function which we want to use in the map should accept two arguments. So I will pass here x comma y, two arguments, and then it will return the sum of this x plus y. That's it. So what will happen here? It will return the sum of individual elements. 2 plus 4 is 6, 4 plus 7 is 11, 6 plus 8 is 14, then 9 plus 12 is 21, then 12 plus 13 is 25, 14 plus 14 is 28. So let us take it here first. Lambda, missing one required positional argument y. Let me check it here. Map a list underscore num. Oh, because we have this one and then list underscore num2. We have to pass, we are passing now two iterators, list num1, list num2. One is for x, another is for y. So now if I check it here, you can see here 2 plus 4 is 6, 4 plus 7 is 11, 6 plus 8 is 14. So here we can see that the number of elements in both the iterator are same. So what if I remove one element from this second iterator, second list. So now the length of the list num1 is not equal to list underscore num2. So what will happen? The length of the new iterator or number of elements in the new iterator which is coming from this map function will be decided by the by this iterator. That means the iterator having list number of elements. So if I try to this execute this, so now we will have 5 elements: 6, 2 plus 4, the 6, 4 plus 7 is 11, 6 plus 8 is 14, then 9 plus 12 is 21, then 12 plus 13 is 25. We don't, this map function do not use the extra element present in the first iterator. Another use is if we want to pass a number of integers using input function, so how we can pass in a single line. So if I use like this, list underscore num is equal to int input, enter a list of integers. That's it. So if I execute this number, and if I try to pass some numbers 2, 3, 4, 5, what happens? Invalid literal for int with base 10. Why is this? Because by default, if you try to input something using input function, it is in a string, and when you give some space to enter different integers, then it becomes a string, and you cannot convert it back to integers. So in that case, we can use our map function. So how we can use list underscore num int? We'll just comment it and we'll use a map function now. So list underscore num is equal to list. I'll keep that list of number in a list. So list, and then we have a map function, and what we will use? We will use int to convert all the numbers whatever is coming. So int function comma and then input, and we have enter a list of numbers. So that is fine, we have a list of numbers. So how we can, this is just a string, so how we can convert it into an iterator? So we can use the split function. So dot split, and here we we won't pass anything. If we don't pass anything, so by default it accepts only the space. So let us take it first. Here I'm uncommenting here, and I'll use this before commenting this one. I'll use this dot split. Data split, so that we can see that this list underscore num becomes a uh, iterator. So print this, the split function splits number of this list underscore num data into an iterator or list. So let us take it here. I will just use 2, 7, 15, 19. So this one. So it is returning a list function or iterator. So the same thing we have used here. Let us comment this thing and we'll see, come back to this point. So same split function is used. This part is used to make it an iterator. So that iterator will come, and each element 2 will be converted using this int function to integer and will be stored in a another iterator list underscore. So if we check here and we'll come to this part, You can see here the data type is integer since it is within single quote. So if we want to use insert only integers, so we can use now this one. And if I pass 3, 7, 10, 16, now you can see a list of numbers. We are passing a list of numbers uh, in one single line using map function. So there are many other options uh, available in or applications available of map function. Suppose you have a list of strings, and if you want to convert it back into all the strings into uppercase or lowercase, then you can use all this uh, map function. Or if you want to convert all the strings into an array and make that iterator to array of array like this. If you want, suppose we have a list of strings. It's equal to abc comma xyz. So if you want to convert it back into a list of lists, so list underscore of list using map function, we can do that here. A, B, comma C, comma X, comma Y, comma Z. We can do that, achieve you using our uh, map function. And another option is if we want to achieve this uppercase list underscore upper is equal to, that also can be achieved. So I expect you people to try more and more use of this map function. It is a very useful function, and if you face any difficulty, you can leave a comment on the in the comment box. So thank you for watching the video. I hope you have enjoyed it. Please don't forget to click on like, subscribe and share button.